Hi there, Happy New Year. I'm so happy to see you again through this new video. I've taken some retreat time for myself over the last few weeks, which has been very beneficial for me spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, and physically as well. And now I'm back with a level of clarity that I have never experienced before, which means I have a lot of great stuff to share with you to support your journey in this new year, as we call it on the planet. Have you heard something like this? We make decisions with emotion and justify them with logic. If you haven't, now is the time to know, because it's very important to your life quality. The statement means unless we are super aware, which is not the case for most humans on the planet yet, we live our life through the lens of emotion instead of logic or intelligence, no matter how rational you think you are. I know this can immediately stir up controversies, but please hold it. Let me explain. We often categorize people into one group called more emotional, the other more rational. This is primarily based on how people respond to situations and how they make decisions. But what if I tell you we all make decisions based on the emotions that are triggered within us at any given time? It's just the process is so fast, so natural that we don't even realize it. Here's some knowledge you must know about it. First, emotions are triggered first in our mind. Emotions arise because of the thoughts we have, because of the meaning we give to things. So basically, no meaning or definition, no emotion. For example, for those of you who don't understand Chinese, if I tell you, 你好美啊, you wouldn't have any emotion towards it, because your mind doesn't assign it any meaning. Therefore, it triggers no emotion. But if I tell you, I just said, you are so beautiful, then emotions immediately come up, right? You can't help it. It's the way we humans are. It's a natural mechanism that makes us uniquely human. Emotions and feelings are different things. Feeling is a close ally with our intuition, the wisest part of us that transcends thoughts. You can also say feelings are very direct, non-judgmental, sensual, primitive, peaceful, naturally appreciative, and inclusive. For example, we can feel the wind without an emotion, not just sensually, but also in a very direct and peaceful way, instead of processing it in our mind, which then causes emotion. Second, emotions are experienced by our body. One of the loudest proofs is medical industry has more and more opened to the fact that almost all physical diseases come from chronic negative emotion of a certain kind, including fear, stress, anger, guilt, shame, resentment, hatred, you name it. You probably have heard of people who are diagnosed with cancer admitting that they hadn't truly forgiven someone from the past, and that hatred has literally caused the extreme imbalance of their health showing up as cancer. By the way, in the same light, I like to add, cancer is not meant to be a fatal thing, but rather an alarm to wake people up from the chronic, fearful way of living. And people can heal from it and will more and more in the days to come when they realize the real cause of it. Third, emotions from past experiences can still live in our body if not properly released at the time of its happening, and these emotions literally determine our current responses and choices in life, therefore determine our future. Let's say someone in the very ancient past has said something to you that made you really embarrassed. So embarrassed that if you close your eyes and go back to that moment, your body can literally re-experience that strong emotion as if it were happening now. What happens is, because that embarrassment was not properly reframed and released when it happened, it would stop you from ever attempting things that may bring the risk of being ridiculed, being laughed at, because that embarrassment was too painful. Your body is still remembering it so viscerally that a thought of something similar would immediately trigger the memory of embarrassment in your body. Then you will quickly say, no, I don't want to experience it again. Do you see the significance of it now? If we are unconsciously trapped by those emotions from the past, how can we ever do things that bring us different results? How can we ever freely create the life we desire? We then are just repeating what we have been doing all the time. Just in case you might wonder, no, this is not a rare case, but very common among people. You can replace embarrassment with anger, guilt, stress, overwhelm, or any kind of emotion that doesn't feel good. We never learn to take care of those past emotions, and therefore our behaviors are still controlled by them unconsciously. And now you can see whether someone's more emotional or rational. It's all an internal process of emotion, and it's just some people go through a more complicated process of justifying it with logic and rationality, while others, the labeled emotional ones, would go straight with their emotion without giving too much rational justification. Now, understanding all of this takes us to the most important part. How can we use this to improve our life? First, start questioning the meaning you have been giving to things. For example, if something gets you angry or frustrated or sad, ask yourself, what is the definition or meaning I've been given to things, to the situation? Then tell yourself, change the meaning I give the situation. I will change how I feel about it. Then I will change how I respond to it and how I act. And eventually, I'll get different results. All it takes is a second of pause, and your life will change course. Second, forgive often, forgive easily, forgive truly. I mean this one not just for those who have hurt us, but also including ourselves. We beat ourselves up too much without realizing it, and it's time to really forgive ourselves for all the mistakes, all the things that we'd rather that we did or didn't do. Forgive ourselves. With full awareness, I also know it's one of the hardest things for many people to forgive another who has done wrong to them. But it's a path we must take. It's part of the evolution we must go through as a human being in this lifetime. And it becomes much easier when we truly understand